seriously, everything is just fucking easy for me now. Productivity and getting tasks done and going for my dreams and getting what I want is so fucking easy for me now. Like, I, in the past year, have gone from chasing to attracting so fucking quickly, like you will not believe. And I want to talk about it because for so long, for literally like the majority of my teenage years, for the majority of my early 20s, I was chasing, like thinking, oh, you know, I need to do this one extra thing and then I'll feel good about myself. Or like, you know, if I do more of this work, then, you know, things are gonna kind of come for me. I'm gonna draw in abundance. And what I found was that there was no place or space for abundance in my life, financially, emotionally, spiritually, you know, in a relationship or career or whatever it is, like dreams, because I was like forcing it. It was everything that I was doing productivity wise and trying to, you know, for example, like posting content, it was coming, or trying to post as often as I could to gain more traction, to gain more followers. It was coming from a place of fear, and it was coming from a place of obligation. And because it was coming from those places of obligation and fear and not just love, it was like tires spinning in the mud. It didn't matter how much more work I did. It didn't matter how much more I did and like tried to strive for and tried to do a different strategy, everything, all those things. Can't get my words out quick enough. It didn't matter because I was coming from a place of fear and obligation and not love. And the universe can fucking feel it. And you know what? On social media, people can feel it too. It is no coincidence that in the past month, when I've done a lot of internal work, worked on my authenticity, started saying my actual fucking opinions, started being more bold, started being my true authentic self online, that I have gained nearly 3k followers in the space of like a month on on Instagram alone. And I literally haven't grown on Instagram for like 3 years. I haven't grown on Instagram. I in fact lost followers from the age of like 25, and I'm 28 now. Like for such a long time, I've been stagnant on Instagram. And in the past, like, yeah, month, I did do a kind of like a content stint, a content like push, but I think it wasn't because of the quantity of content that I was doing. I think it was because I was showing my audience who I really was for the first fucking time. And people loved it. Yes, there were times when, like, you know, my opinions were polarizing, and that's probably why it went viral, it did well. But that's still the energy that I want to sit in. I still want to, like, be able to attract energy to then be able to, you know, bring in more abundance for myself. I don't think there's any coincidence that I've done all this internal work over the past year, which is basically like deciding to remove connections from my life that didn't serve me, that didn't make me feel very good, that didn't make me feel like happy in myself, that made me feel drained, that made me feel like they were competing with me. It was deciding to go no contact with my family, who have historically been so hurtful towards me, have never liked me, have treated me poorly, never validated me, chronically gaslit me, removing myself from that situation. It's been quitting the 9 till 5 and staying quit. Like, I have, you know, in March of 2025, I quit my 9 till 5, just bought my house, like mortgages to pay, rent to pay, bills to pay, not rent to pay, you know what I mean, mortgage to pay. And I had like no fucking idea how I was going to make it work. So I just got like a part-time job at a cafe, and I built up all these other streams of income because I wanted to make it work. And I wanted to be authentic. Working for somebody else made my soul fucking die. And I listened to that. Instead of denying it, instead of like gaslighting myself, instead of denying that part of me that needed to be expressed outside of the 9 till 5, I listened to it. And despite the difficulty, I remember a moment, I was in like a decent amount of debt. I just bought a bunch of things for the house. And I was like not working yet at this point. I think I took 3 months off completely. And I started to panic. I was like, shit, how am I going to make money? How am I going to like fund myself? And I just started Airbnb in my spare room, and it took off. You know, just bootstrapping stuff, like being pragmatic and taking a risk. That horrible feeling of like, shit, I don't know what I'm going to do. and doing it anyway. Building up my business this year. You know, I'm in this point actually in my life where I'm in this void space where, and I've spoken about this in my previous video, I could link it down below, where I've invested a lot in my businesses and in my house, and, you know, I'm in like kind of, I guess, objectively the worst financial situation I've ever been in, although I don't feel like that because I feel from like this abundant place with my new identity. Even though my old identity is still my reality right now, my new identity is like, that's where my brain's at. So I'm in this like weird transition phase, and I've been pragmatic and I know stuff's going to come in. I just trust it. I trust that my authenticity and my true self is what brings in abundance. I don't need to be scrambling around trying to collect money from all these different places. That's what I did before. That's what my old identity did before. I've got the structures in place. It's not like I don't have anything. You know, I have a part-time job. I've got a business that I've fully fleshed out, that I'm promoting, that I'm talking about, that is an amazing investment for anybody who makes it. You know, I have money coming in from YouTube and TikTok. So it's not that I'm just being whimsical, or, well, I like being whimsical, but it's not because I'm being thoughtless or I've not thought things through. I've been pragmatic and I'm just waiting. You know, I've done the work. I'm just waiting now for my new identity to catch up, or for me to transition into that new identity. I'm in that void transition phase right now. And I put it down to my working on my authenticity and behaving in a way that is true to myself, and not, you know, being governed by guilt, not being governed by, oh, I should do this, I could do this, I would do this, you know, the conditionals. Fuck any of that. You're not going back to the 9 to 5, even though I'm fucking terrified, because I don't know if the money that I've been trying to build for myself, an abundance I've been trying to build for myself financially, is ever going to work. I don't know. I've no idea. Hopefully it will. I've got indication that it will, but I'm still terrified. But I'd much rather do those scary things and take those risks so that I can then attract those things in, rather than chase those things. And I think authenticity and like working on that has been what has like led to this period of time now where things are really fucking easy for me. It's so easy for me to film a YouTube video. You know that I literally beforehand, I had no idea that spontaneity for me is like what works for me. I'm a spontaneous gal. I don't like scripts. I don't like structure. Never have really. Not a massive, like, I mean, I do plan, but like it's not something that comes naturally to me or that I find particularly enjoyable. I do it to cope. I like going off script. This is why this kind of way of doing YouTube works now for me. You know what? I used to spend I've been making YouTube videos since I was 22. For 6 years, or like 5, I guess, until recently. It's been so hard for me to make YouTube videos because I've been trying to do a structure, trying to do a script, trying to not come from a stream of consciousness. I've been trying to, you know, build structure within it. No. I don't want to do that. And I'd spend hours editing, and I fucking hate editing. It's not my favourite thing. I don't mind editing like audios, but I don't like editing videos. I find it laborious and long, and like I just don't like it. Or like songs, that's fine. But I don't like editing, and yet I was putting in all this. I get exhausted before filming a YouTube video. I didn't feel exhausted before this. I was fucking excited. But filming YouTube videos before was such a laborious and draining experience because I was doing it in the wrong way for me. It was forced. It was coming from this place of obligation. Like, I have to do this, otherwise I'm not going to be successful. Otherwise I'm going to be, you know, a failure in my 20s. Otherwise I'm not going to make my £1 million. I've just fucking relaxed and been like, okay, worked on this fear that I have around age. By the way, that's something that we can definitely discuss another time, because that is something that I have overcome. If you want to hear more about like how I've overcome that feeling of like feeling pressure of my age and being in my 20s and always having to achieve everything before a certain point, like tell me if you want that, because I've definitely overcome that. And now, because I've overcome that and rewired my brain to not see my age as what makes my success remarkable, because it won't be, something else will make it remarkable. I have just fucking relaxed and let things come in, and therefore I'm not chasing this like, oh, I need to be making a YouTube video every single second of the day, and like I need to be planning it and structuring it and making it perfect, editing it, like spending all my time doing it. No. And in fact, it's so easy for me to make YouTube videos and edit them now, because it's a stream of consciousness like it is right now. it's just me looking pretty in front of the camera, talking about stuff that I've worked hard to come to the conclusions of. I've worked hard on my emotional intelligence and my I sometimes talk about sort of like social commentary, so sometimes like, you know, just my understanding of social or sociology. That's the work that I've done. I don't need to make it into this like structured, like high quality video. And filming YouTube videos and editing YouTube videos takes me a fraction of the time that it once did. So it means I can post twice a week. And it's fucking easy for me. This is like flowing for me. This is not difficult. And I think it's because there's no resistance anymore. I'm doing it from overflow. I'm doing it from a place of love. I'm doing it from a place of like, this is easy for me to do. I love this. This is enjoyable. Same with content. I've just filmed, look at my energy. I've just filmed 10 TikToks in a row. And I do that like 2 or 3 times a week. It's just not difficult for me. And it's not because it's not actually literally difficult. It's obviously through loads of practice, through consistency. I've been making TikToks for like 3 or 4 years now. So I like know the hooks. I know what grabs people in. Like, you know, I'm established, I guess, in that regard. But it's so easy for me in the space of the past couple of months to make YouTube videos and make TikTok videos and work on my business and like draw in abundance for myself and, you know, even pick up potentially other streams of income. Because it's not coming from a place of like obligation, having to do stuff and like, oh, I should do this, I should do that. I just want to make TikToks and YouTube videos because it makes me happy. Like, I love talking about this. And it's so much easier for me because I'm not having to put on this pretense. I've worked on my authenticity. So I'm coming to you as my truest self, as my most pure, authentic self. I'm no longer interested in putting up this front or restricting myself or policing myself in order to come across a certain way like I was in previous videos. If you look back at videos from like a year ago, you can sense the difference. It's like a different person. I've always been this person, but I've never let her out, or not until recently. And things are so easy for me. I don't find it difficult to do, you know, to maintain my sales funnel or to add a little thing to my course or to, you know, I used to find like DMing people or replying to comments fucking taxing and exhausting. Don't anymore. Because it's coming from a place of like, I'm really enthusiastic about this. This feels aligned, and listening to my body and thinking, okay, what, like, does this make me feel good or not? And like really deciding what I'm not going to fucking do. I'm not going to do a 9 till 5. Hopefully I won't have to do my part-time job very, very soon as well. Deciding that I'm not going to try and be Forbes under 30 or 30 under 30. I'm not going to try and have this massive business where I've got like a bunch of different employees. I'm deciding what I'm not going to do with my life. I'm not interested in climbing the corporate ladder. I'm not interested in making really high quality, loads of great edits, like, you know, polished content. I want to make raw, authentic content. I'm not interested in doing like long voiceovers with like loads of different lifestyle clips. I'd rather do one lifestyle clip and a little caption. I'd rather do, you know, talking head things like this, deciding that I do not want to do those things. Because I think that's what used to drain me before. I was like, I should do this, I should do that, I should be making videos like this. This is what makes people go viral. This is what makes people blow up. No, bitch, what makes you blow up, what makes you go viral, what makes people drawn to you is you. If you cultivate your magnetism, if you cultivate who you really are, and like let her out. You know, I did little experiments past couple months, and I'd like write a little caption on like, you know, a lifestyle video, and just I'd be nervous to post it because I'm like, this is my real self. Like, especially in terms of my eroticism, like I'm naturally quite like erotic, kind of like erotically charged, I guess, or like in touch with my sensuality. And I was like, I would hide that because I felt shame around it. And the moment that I started to express it, not only did I feel liberated, but also I was like, this is fucking easy. And people were drawn to it. They were like, shit, she said exactly what I'm thinking in my own head, but I can't bring myself to say it. Like, I like this. You know, finally talking about my experience with going no contact with my parents has been so liberating. So many people are like, I can relate to this. I back this. Like, thank you for talking about this. People are magnetized to your vulnerability and your authenticity and you being exactly who you are, not hiding those parts of you. Even though, like, omission is like, omitting parts of yourself is still being inauthentic, even if you are displaying other parts of your authenticity. If you can't fully be yourself and you're omitting parts of your authenticity, that's still inauthenticity. And people can sense that. People can sense that you're limiting yourself a bit, you're policing yourself a bit. Talking about, you know, being vulnerable is so important as well. There was a period of time I went viral a lot, like probably when I was 26, so like 2 years ago. and I was talking about friendship breakups, and it was like this really raw point when I felt really passionate about it and I felt really ready to be vulnerable, and I spoke about it, and that's when I started to blow up. And then I kind of like overcame that. I suppose I healed parts of it that I didn't need to talk about it as much anymore. And then I lost that vulnerability because I just was like, I'm not ready to talk about the particular situation I was going through at the time. And then I come back to being vulnerable again online, talking about going no contact, talking about, you know, there's a few things I would like to talk about in terms of dating and romance and things, and my relationship with men, you know, talking about my relationship with sex and intimacy. Those are things that I want to talk about, and actually those are the things that make you magnetic. Talking about those things validates everybody else, and that's all people want. They're magnetized to that. You're attracting that. You become attractive and just like exude this aura when you let everything go and you're vulnerable and you express all facets of your authenticity. It's deeply fucking attractive. And that's why I think things are so easy for me now. Like work is easy for me because I'm in alignment. I'm not, you know, going to a 9 to 5 that makes me want to throw myself out the window because I hate answering to somebody for a bullshit job that I don't see any value in. Like, you know, I'm not having to force myself to be around friends that make me feel like shit, that I'm having to emotionally prep in order to go and see. I'm not having to do the same with family members. I'm not having to, you know, sell my soul in order to hang out with people that fundamentally do not respect me, do not like me, and literally think that I'm a piece of shit. Fuck that. I'm not having to do all this emotional labor. And you know what? It's like freed up this capacity to work on my dreams, to focus on what I really want to do, to cultivate myself, or cultivate my self-love and my authenticity, to then attract relationships that are also abundant in self-love, abundant in like authenticity. You know, they always say, isn't it, you know, if you want something, become it. If you want to experience like crazy, beautiful love, become it. Embody it. If you want to experience freedom, you've got to take the risk to get it. If you want to experience alignment, you've got to reject everything that isn't aligned. And it's fucking scary for most people. It's work 99% of people will not do, but you will. And that's why you're watching this, because you will. You'll do that work. And you're willing to do that work because the very fact you clicked on this means that you're intrigued by it, you're curious about it, you want to do the work, you want to show up for yourself, you want to go from chasing to attracting, you want to naturally draw it in. You draw it in when you externalize and behave exactly in alignment with who you are. When there's nothing to hide, when you're not omitting anything, when you're not holding anything back, when you don't feel shame around your quirks and your authenticity and your shadow self, when you integrate those parts of you that maybe you previously avoided. I was scared to feel guilt, shame, fear. I was scared to feel jealousy at times. I was scared to feel, you know, rage, especially as a recovering people pleaser. I was scared to feel those things, and I just let myself let it out. I let myself integrate it. I processed it through content creation. I processed it by talking with people. I processed it by creativity. You can integrate it, and once it's part of you, no, it can't hurt you anymore. Like, if somebody were to call me like angry or like rude or whatever, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I am, because I'm a human and I'm multifaceted, and I'm proud of those things. The people that kind of end up being dickheads are people that avoid their shadow, people that think that they're nice people when actually they're not. Everybody has a shadow self. When you integrate it, you become a good person. When you integrate it, you become more empowered, and you can use it to your advantage. God, I really feel like I got so much off my chest then, but that's seriously like how it works. Life becomes easier and things flow, and it's easier to be productive and to do the thing and to do the hard thing and to go for your dreams and to just create this life for yourself when you're in alignment. These things are not difficult for me anymore. There's no resistance. It's easy for me. I mean, a lot of people think like, how the fuck do you make like 3 videos or post 3 videos a day? I don't know. It's just overflowing from me. It's not coming from a place of like, oh, I need to do this, like panicking, cortisol inducing shit. Like, no. It just comes from like, I want to do this because I know it makes me happy. It's cathartic. It's healing for me. Fantastic if other people like it. And you know what? Crazily, they will, because it's coming from this place of love. People can sense it. That's how you blow up. That's how you build abundance. That's how you draw things in, is when you are behaving in accordance with who you really are, when you do not self-abandon, when you forever choose yourself over what's easy, over people-pleasing. And on that note of people-pleasing, I have my People Pleaser to Powerhouse course that I've just launched. It's 4 weeks. go and check it out, because I have gone through this transformation. Okay, I'm at the magnetism stage. So there's like week 1, which is like, I guess, the healing stage, like working out who you really are, being aware of your childhood roots, the psychology of people pleasing. Boundary setting is week 2, how to really start using script, start standing up for yourself, start advocating for yourself, and start cultivating that sense of self-trust. Then week 3 is authenticity, working out who you really are behind the mask, unmasking, discovering who you really are, working to like be in alignment with your true self, and like integrating your shadow. And then finally, that week 4 is magnetism and boldness, my favorite week, obviously. That's when you go from chasing to attracting. If you're interested in this transformation, if you are sick of being burnt out, if you're sick of being like, you know, putting your knees behind everybody else's, being a yes man, like forever feeling like your feelings don't matter, you are done with that, and you want to kind of go from that to boundaried, to self-assured, to getting what you want, to being magnetic, to attracting your desires without chasing them, this is your course. This is your course. You will not be disappointed. Like, if this speaks to you, go and check it out in the link in my bio. But anyway, with that, I hope this was helpful. I hope it was validating. I hope that you now like understand what needs to be done to live in alignment and to live in authenticity and naturally just be magnetic, because you don't have to try anymore. Like once you've kind of like living in alignment and living in authenticity, you don't feel guilty about being your fucking self. It's just like everything is just easy. You don't have to try. Like everything feels effortless. Like I can't explain it enough. Everything feels effortless. And I'm excited for you to experience the same. Let me know down in the comments your experience, what you feel like you've done to integrate like parts of your shadow, what you've done to make life easier for yourself, what you decided what you're not going to do, what you decided to stop hemorrhaging your emotional energy on to then pour into yourself and your authenticity. Let me know in the comments below. But with that, I will see you in my next video. Have a fantastic remainder of your day. Bye.